The vast majority of people make pickleball way more difficult than it needs to be. So today I'm going to be sharing with you the core fundamentals that you need to be a better pickleball player. Nothing that you need to memorize throughout this video, just pure understanding. And these aren't the other stuff that you've already tried that isn't working. I can guarantee that most of this stuff you've never seen before, and if you watch the entire video, I promise you that you'll become a better pickleball player. So let's open the playbook. All the points that I'm going to be analyzing in this video came from a 4.5 match. Whether you're a 3.0 or a 6.0, I can promise you that the fundamentals that you find inside these clips will help you improve your pickleball game. All right, here we are on point number 1. So some really good defense. We'll watch the point and then we'll analyze it. Okay, so let's go back to the beginning. We got obviously the near side serving here. The first decision to make here is what we're going to do with this third shot. Now, judging by how high it is above the net, chances are we want to drive this shot. There are multiple factors as well, such as how far back our opponents are that are returning. Are they taking a long time to come in? If so, we probably want to target that returner. Because if our returner hasn't made it past mid-court, and we target them with this next drive, it's gonna make it really difficult for them to ever gain any real estate, ever come up to the kitchen line and get to a more optimal position. Chances are we just continue to take advantage of the point. So from this perspective, the correct choice isn't just to drive, but it's to drive it at the returner, because as you can see, he's way back there. Okay, so he returns the ball. He's way back, bounces. He hasn't made it to mid-court yet. That's the key sign, the key tell sign. You need to drive the ball at him. But his partner, what he does is he baits him into hitting the ball down the line. So instead he chooses to hit this drive down the line because his partner comes to the middle of the court. His partner comes over to the middle of the court, baits it, he takes the bait instead of going to the higher percentage position. So it's gonna make more sense if you go play at the 5.5 level. A 5.5 isn't going to see that person come into the middle and then try to go down the line. They're going to actually go to the most high percentage shot still. So you need to make that decision, and this is something that anybody can do at any level. But the most high percentage shot is always the shot that you want to go to that's going to apply the most pressure. So instead he goes down the line here. This guy gets to it, I mean, relatively easily, right? And now we're in a defensive position. Whereas if he would have driven that ball to the person that was at mid-court, they'd be at mid-court when making contact with the ball, or maybe just past mid-court. Especially if he can get it low and landing at their feet. Now they have the advantage, and he's gonna have to pop up that ball because he has to hit it up to go over the net. But from this position, now he's at a disadvantage. This is a very awkward position to be in. So from this awkward position, he pops up the ball slightly. The opponent counters the ball. Now from this position, where the opponent is standing and where the ball is exactly where the player in front of him wants to stand. So this player, the near right side player, is slightly off to the right. Instead, they want to be hovering over the middle, because from this exact position, this player can't possibly counter the ball to the right side of the right side player. They could maybe do it slightly to the right side if they really make late contact, but they're not going to be hitting a winner to the right side. So this player should be hovering over the middle and possibly stepping back because that ball is slightly high. Instead, they're still hanging out on their side. I would at least have a toe on the line because that's in alignment with the ball. So wherever the ball is, that's where you want to align your chest with if it's in front of you. If it's cross court from you, you want to point your paddle towards wherever it is. So watch the near side left player here. His paddle is out in front of him, almost, we can't see it, but it looks like a backhand. He's holding a backhand. He should have that paddle already pointed towards where the ball is and should be ready to counter on that forehand side. If the guy ends up hitting it to his backhand side, he has a lot more time to get to the backhand side, not as much time to get to the forehand side from the backhand side because the ball is closer to his forehand side. So near left side player is open to his forehand side. So now he can cover the entire middle a whole lot quicker because he's already holding that forehand. If the guy goes behind him, he has time to get to the backhand. The player that's making contact with the ball isn't the wrong player. So the near right side player that made contact, this is great contact that he's making. The problem is that he pops up the ball and he's a bit late because he's not far enough to the middle because he didn't align his chest with where the ball is. So if he'd have done that, the point probably could have been finished right there, or they could have at least taken advantage. Instead, they pop it up. Now, something that they do that's brilliant here is they move back. They recognize it's a pop-up and they move back. A lot of players will just stand there. So we want to make sure whenever we pop the ball high, we're moving backwards. He recovers this ball. Next ball comes. Okay, he counters. Notice where he's moving. His body is now in alignment, his chest is now in alignment with where that ball is. So because of this, this counter is so much better because he has so much more time to get on top of the ball. Counters, fantastic shot. Okay, over here on the far side, our far side left. A fantastic shot right here. He just takes away the speed. He sees that it's more defensive position and he kind of resets it. It's not just any reset. He resets it low into the court, puts this player in that awkward position that we saw before where the ball is at their feet. And he gets that slight pop-up and then perfectly placed at that right hip. This is exactly where you want to go with this speed up. Perfectly placed at this right hip. Now, notice where the ball is bouncing. It's not even in the frame. It's well behind the near right side player's chest. It's well to the right of him. So he needed to shift over. Had he shift over, the player in front of him wouldn't have been able to contact that right hip to get him in this weird chicken wing position. He should have shifted over, held a backhand, and then countered that ball. So key fundamentals, we're making sure that we are putting our chest in alignment with that ball. Don't make the mistake of letting the ball get out of alignment with our chest. If we're cross court from the ball and we dink it cross court or drop it cross court, that paddle tip needs to point towards wherever that ball is. Okay, we are on point number 2 of the 4.5 match. So we're gonna watch it really quick and then we will analyze it. All right. Okay, let's go back to the beginning. Near side serving again. So we got the serve, the return. Okay, this ball, yes, look how high that is above the net. It's extremely high above the net and it lands deep into the court. This is giving the opponent that just returned the ball all the time in the world to come forward. So this is a textbook return of what you'd want to do in any given match, if possible, is return that ball deep and high so that you can have time to get up to the net. Now you can fault by going too high. You also can fault by going too deep because it's going to go out, but we don't want to go too high. But notice that height above the net. He's probably, I don't know, 6 feet, 5 feet above the net with that height. Okay, then the decision here is, do I drop or drive? Either decision is good. When the ball is deep and high, I like to drive personally. I'm more comfortable driving and I'll drive that ball down the line. The reason that I'll go down the line is because it takes more time away from my opponents. If instead I drive the ball cross court in this position, that gives my opponents more time to react to my drive. The whole point of my drive is to take away time from my opponents. Now, it's a double win here because the opponent that's returning the ball is also directly up the line from me. So not only am I hitting the ball to the returner, but I'm also hitting it down the line, which is taking the most time away from my opponents. If you're more comfortable dropping from this position, then drop. So this is one of those 50-50 positions. Do whatever is going to be the most consistent shot for you. Drops the ball cross court, which is fantastic, by the way. If I'm ever dropping the ball, I want to drop cross court because it gives me more distance to hit to, less room for error. Whereas if I drop up the line, pop the ball slightly high, my opponent's gonna be hitting overheads on that drop. Whereas cross court, I can get away with a little bit more. It's also over the lowest part of the net, right in the middle, 34 inches, instead of down the line, 36 inches. So then, the point is completely neutral at this point. Everybody's up at the net. And then he gets the pop-up. So he takes this cross-court ball, back cross court. The person on the far right side, our far right, takes this ball out of the air. Now, not a horrible decision, but if you're taking that ball out of the air, you have to keep the ball low. Always have to keep the ball low. He slightly pops it up, and then what we have here is the big mistake, which is that he's hitting a roll. A backhand roll is where we're coming up the ball and we're lifting from our shoulder. And that's exactly what he's doing through this shot. Instead, it should be either a punch, a backhand punch, just a really short motion, or a flick, a really short flick motion, which is actually coming from your forearm. Your forearm's going from closed to open when you're hitting that backhand counter. It's the opposite when you're hitting a forehand. It's going from open to closed. It's just simply flicking through that shot. It needs to be a quick shot at our opponents, and we're trying to get that ball low. Instead, he rolls. When we're rolling, we're trying to keep our opponent's back typically. So whenever I'm using a backhand roll and lifting from the shoulder, I'm trying to get the ball super deep into the court. It's not a super fast ball. It's just keeping them back. If I'm flicking, I'm trying to get the ball on my opponents as quickly as possible, preferably at their feet. This ball here is high enough to get that ball at the opponent's feet. maybe not at their feet, but at least below waist height. But it needs to be a flick instead of this big, huge roll motion coming from his shoulder, okay? So flick this ball, and then the most optimal position to put it in is going to be down the line at that right hip if it's a righty player. You also need to change it up because they can sit and camp on that if they get used to you hitting every single one down that line. So the key fundamentals here are if the ball comes to you deep and high or deep and low, do whatever is most comfortable for you. Whatever the most consistent shot is going to be for you, that's the shot that you want to do. Remember, drives going down the line majority of the time to take time away from your opponents. And then drops are going cross court because it's over the lowest part of the net. It gives you a little bit more leeway. There's not a better way to get better at fundamentals than getting out and getting reps in. And the very best way to do that is by drilling. And if you want to see insane improvement in your pickleball game, you can check out our pickleball drilling packs. Each pack has multiple drills with video instruction. What's great about each drilling video inside these packs is that it won't only show you a video of the drill happening, but it will tell you exactly how to do the drill according to your level and give you key tips to help you with your pickleball fundamentals. So go to pbdrills.com if you want access to these packs so that you can improve your drilling sessions and overall improve your pickleball game faster than you ever thought possible. And if you absolutely love the packs and you want access to more drills, you can download the Pickleball Drills app. There's over 100 drills inside the app, and new drills are being constantly uploaded every single month. Okay, on to the next point. Okay, so this is something that you'll see at 4-5 a lot. 4-5 is known for being banger, okay? They're gonna bang majority of shots typically if you're a 4-5 player. Now, he serves the ball, we get the return. The return is short and low. Short and low meaning it's not quite above net height, or it's lower than net height. And whenever the return is short and low, we typically wanna drop this shot, but you can drive it. It's just that you can automatically put yourself into a defensive position by doing so if that drive is slightly high. It's hard to hit a drive where the return came in low and keep that drive low. Whereas if the return's high, hitting a drive low is a lot easier because we don't have the net really to worry about. We can kind of hit down on the ball. So since this is low, I would typically drop this ball, but in this situation, it can be a good opportunity to drive if you're really confident you can keep the ball low. So again, the most high percentage shot would be a drop cross court. The not so high percentage shot is going to be that drive down the line. But as you can see, it works out for him because since he drove down the line, had he driven cross court, he would have given his opponent a ton of time to react to the ball. Since he drove down the line, they don't have a ton of time to react, and we get a nice dead ball, which is what he's hoping for. Again, it's a low ball. This is not a ball that I would drive. I would drop this ball cross court, but down the middle solves the riddle. I'd say this was definitely more of a lucky point, and I wanted to show you guys this point as, yes, he got away with it, but no, it wasn't the most high percentage shot to go with, okay? Both of these drives weren't the most high percentage, but he gets away with it. Now he goes and plays against a 5-0 team that are 0.5 points higher than him. All of a sudden, he's not gonna be able to get away with that. So it's kind of building those bad habits where it works with the 4-5s and everyone below 4-5, but it doesn't work with these 5-0s. It doesn't work with anybody above 4-5. So then he drives it up the middle, winner up the middle. So the key fundamentals here are if the return comes in short and low, we're gonna be dropping the ball cross court preferably. If the return comes in short and high, we're gonna be swinging a Y. I like to say, put on an Australian accent, we're gonna be hitting that ball, driving through it, and preferably driving that ball down the line. All right, we got our next 4.5 point here. A simple mistake at the end. Okay, let's rewatch it. So serving, we get a return high and deep again. That's a difficult return to do anything with. Okay, so fantastic return. And look, at the point of contact, he is at the kitchen line, which is exactly what you want to be. Okay, he drives the ball directly down the line, which is the correct choice. A lot of people will say, isn't that cross court because of where he was standing from? Maybe, could be. But he's hitting the ball down the line, down his line, okay? The line that he's on. That's the shot that you want to go for. Okay, then we have this next shot. This is a short and low ball. So as we know from before, what should we do with a short and low ball? Drop it, chances are. I know you feel like you should drive it because it's short and low and it feels like you should attack, but the drive is what ultimately puts them in a bad position throughout this point. Because since he drives it from this close position, this drive is pretty good. He kept it relatively low, but since it's from such a close position, even though the far left side player pops this ball up, it's still coming so fast that the near right side player doesn't have time to react. Okay, so he has less time to react, and then we create that mistake happening. What really should have happened here is that this should have been an easy counter down at the feet of the opponents right here, but he's cutting. So notice how he's cutting underneath the ball. We don't want to be cutting when we're countering. Instead, we want to be brushing over the top of the ball. So we're trying to hit with topspin whenever they're hitting speed ups at us. If the ball goes below the net tape, that's when we'd want to cut. But as you can see at the point of contact, the ball is 3 inches above the net. Okay, so because of that, I can punch over the ball and punch out and get that ball down at my opponent's feet. Point's probably going to be instantly over. If not, puts them in an awkward position. Lots of fundamentals to review here. Return, again, he's 3 for 3 on these deep, fantastic deep returns. This return position is the ultimate position that you want to get to. This is the position that you want to go to majority of the time when you're returning the ball, is deep up the middle and slightly towards that your opponent's right side. So we're going, directly where this ball is landing is optimal because it causes confusion in the middle. Whenever we have confusion in the middle, sometimes they'll just automatically miss the shot. But the best part is it makes them hit their weaker shot. So the partner in the middle really should be hitting a forehand here. And at the 5-5-0 level, 5-5 level, you're gonna see players coming over and hitting forehands from this position. This left side player would be hitting the forehand. He settles for the backhand, okay? There's confusion in the middle. He hits a backhand and it's a pretty decent drop, slightly high. And then this is the first real mistake here. The player at the net hits his ball cross court. Instead, you want to be hitting the ball at the player that's furthest back, which in this case would be the player on the near left side. The reason you want to hit this initial ball to that player is because it's easier to get the ball at their feet. You can keep them back. Whenever we hit the ball at our opponent's feet, it makes them have to move their feet out of the way in order to make contact with the ball. So this is optimal for us, puts them in an awkward position. Chances are they'll pop up the ball. Now, as soon as both players come up to the net, and there's one closer to the net than the other, and the ball goes up high above our shoulders where we can hit an overhead, that's when we would then want to hit to the player that's closer to the net. Other than that, we're keeping the player that's further back and keeping it at their feet. But as soon as that ball goes above chest level, that's our opportunity to smash the ball because we can then put it away at their shoelaces. So we're hitting to the near side player whenever the ball goes above our shoulders. The ball stays below our shoulders. We're trying to keep that ball at the player that's further back. So it's the complete opposite. So key fundamentals there. Okay, a fantastic reset. They both recognize and move forward. We have this ball in the middle. He dinks it cross court, which is a fantastic dink. All things are neutral right now until right then. That's a 5.0 level dink right there. Dinks the ball way across court, pulls his opponent off the court. The point should have been finished right there. So this is big mistake number 2. The near left side player goes way out wide, probably thinking that it's going to be an ATP. But if you look at the body positioning, we're not focused on the ball. We're focused on the body positioning of our opponents. If I'm looking at my opponent and I see that they're in a scramble trying to get to the ball, I'm not going to go cover the entire sideline or try and cover the ATP. ATP meaning around the net post, because you can hit it around the net post in pickleball. Because I see them in this scramble, I'm going to hang out directly where he is right now in that exact position. If he ends up hitting the ball down the line from that weak position below the net, he has to hit up. So it's either going to fly super fast and hit the back fence, or he's going to have to soften it up and I'll have time to come over and crack it. Or he's going to do what he did, which is try to get this ball back to middle, which is the exact play that you want to do. So fantastic choice there, but the player on the near side left took off towards the sideline. Instead, he should be hanging out in the center of his box in this position. Points instantly finished because he would speed this ball up right down his line. So keep that in mind. If your opponents are in a scramble, stay home. There's no need to go cover the sideline. Make them feel like they should go for the sideline. You'll have time to get to it because they have to hit up. They're in a scramble. They're in an awkward position. Okay. Now, what's fantastic that this player does is after they hit this ball up the middle, they're recovering into the center of the court, the center of their box, and they're coming towards where the ball is, and then they're backing up to make contact with the ball. A lot of players would just run right back to the kitchen line and you're going to miss the shot. You're not going to get there in time. So this is giving you time when you go and take that U-turn and come back, and then you're trying to drop this ball and then come back into the point. So the drop again, which is a great choice. The problem is this is a dead drop by definition. Dead drop meaning when it lands, since it's got so much arch, when it lands, the opponent's gonna cream it and you aren't gonna have time to react. It doesn't matter what level you are, you're not gonna have time to react so long as they can hit a pretty competent speed up. So if I'm hitting this drop and I notice that it's archy, I'm gonna come to about mid-court, maybe. I might even stay back and wait for another good one. And I'm going to drop the next shot and try to get it lower. Now notice what his partner does here, the far right side player. So he drops it, his partner backs up, which is the correct decision. So notice that, they back up and they shift over. Whereas he runs forward full force, and now the point is instantly over. So if we hit a drop that's got a lot of arch on it, it's a dead drop, wait for a better one. There's no rush in coming up. When the rush comes is you need to be fast as a Ferrari getting up to the net as soon as you hit an effective drop. An effective drop meaning you know that it's low and it's gonna be landing near that kitchen or near their feet. And you can recognize this just from getting reps in, getting out and hitting and doing drills over and over and over again. Also, the more that you play, you'll be able to recognize when a drop is gonna be a good drop. But typically what you wanna be looking for is getting that drop low over the net.